Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from Corn Productions with my co-host Stacie, and we got some bummer news. We got this news yesterday. Quantum Leap is canceled, which is
Yeah,
really unfortunate.
it's very unfortunate. So after 2 seasons, NBC has decided they are not going to make a third season. It's not entirely unexpected.
Yeah, the live ratings were not good towards the back half of the season.
Yeah,
It seems like NBC wasn't really supporting the show because they put it in a crappy time slot, so I think that had a lot to do with it. But and we don't have any clue about the streaming numbers because they're not going to tell us that. So
right.
so for all we know, they could be through the roof, and they just don't want to bother. But yeah, so this is bummer news about our favorite show. But Stacie, is there any hope?
Um, Usually I'm the very optimistic one, right? Who says anything is possible and let's band together and make it happen. But I don't know. At this moment, I'm not feeling very optimistic about this.
We do. Let's run down like some of the possibilities,
Okay.
and you can shoot them down as we talk. Uh, there could be the timeless situation where they do a wrap-up movie. Do you think that's a possibility at all?
Okay, so I was part of that campaign.
Yes,
Save Timeless campaign. So what happened there is the show was canceled. Well, the show Timeless was canceled after the first season. Fan campaign got it uncanceled. NBC had already canceled it. So I mean that's always a possibility too, right? That we get this completely turned around and they're like, "Hey, never mind, we're not going to cancel." So that's always like a thing that does exist. It did happen between Timeless seasons 1 and 2. And it happened with the original Quantum Leap. They uncanceled it. So yeah, that's a thing. But what happened with Timeless is after season 2, it was canceled again. And fan campaign the clock blockers. We went online and we tweeted and we wrote letters and we mailed paper clips to NBC and all of these things for months and months and months and months and months and collected thousands and thousands of dollars. And we had a helicopter fly over San Diego Comic-Con that said #SaveTimeless. And it was this really big campaign. And the end result of that was we did get a 2-hour wrap-up movie. That doesn't feel like that's going to happen here.
And moreover, I don't think there's a point in that because,
Right.
like, I feel like, and you know, there's fans that disagree with me, but I feel like where we left off at the end of season 2 could very well function as a series finale.
Right. We know that they wrote the finale in a manner that it could have acted as a season finale or as a series finale because everybody knew that, this could be it.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the climate for television now. Any season of any show could just suddenly be the series finale. And I'm glad they gave us a finale that didn't feel like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen in the next minute? We have to know. Right. And yeah, Dave's under the weather.
Yes, I'm not feeling too great.
Sorry if you hear all of his coughing and hacking, the words I'm trying to get out. And now he's probably going to get me sick, so
yep.
Thanks.
Good news.
Which is why we actually didn't record anything this week. We weren't going to do this, but fate just happened to put us in the same room together, so we said, why don't we post something real quick?
Yep.
Anyways, I don't know. I feel like it ended in a place that it's okay for it to end, and I don't feel like a 2-hour movie would really add a lot of value. Like, just like, okay, now let's see Addison and Ben Leap together. I want to see that. I'd love to see that. But would it put us in a better place than we are right now? I don't think it would. I don't think it would. So I don't feel like putting all of that effort into getting a 2-hour movie is really going to have a payoff like it did with Timeless.
Yeah, so this series ended with Ben and Addison leaping together.
Right.
They're not going to go home, but, according to, Hannah's point of view, home is not a place, but a person. And that's a perfectly romantic ending, a perfectly suitable place for the series to end.
Right. Or at least, to end the story for now.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows?
Right.
It seems unlikely that with a cancellation after 2 seasons that there's going to be any chance of this universe continuing in any fashion, but you never know. And even if this is the total end for this, what's going to happen in another 30 years?
Right.
You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's entirely possible that Quantum Leap does stay alive. Although it's feeling much less optimistic than it did during the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. So what about the possibility of shopping into like Netflix or something along those lines?
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people asking about that. Now, I'm not going to pretend I really know a lot about this and understand how television networking works, but I feel like the fact that NBC Universal both owns and produces the series, as well as, being the network who is airing it and is now canceled it, is working against it for that matter. So again, we'll use Timeless as an example. Timeless was produced by Sony. Sony Pictures made the show, and NBC aired the show. So when they canceled it, Sony was able to then go shop other networks. And we didn't end up landing at a different network, but like that was a definite option, right? And NBC came back and was like, well, we'll offer to show the finale movie, right? So they did that instead of getting another season somewhere. And other shows have, jumped networks. That's a thing that happens a lot now. So I think that's one of the first things that comes to people's mind is like, oh, well, if you don't want to air it, somebody else will air it. But I think the fact that NBC not only airs it, but they make it and they own the IP to Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is owned by NBC Universal. I feel like that's a wall.
Yeah.
Right? If the people who own the property are the same people who don't want it to continue, how is it going to continue somewhere else?
Right.
And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't see how that would work. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not a problem. But I feel like that's definitely a big difference here compared to what you see with other shows that have done similar things. Like Manifest went to, I don't remember who produced Manifest, but it wasn't Universal.
Right.
And, they were able to go to Netflix for a season. Netflix, picked up the rights for a season. But I don't know. I see people asking about Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi Channel, and I feel like that would be a great place for it, right? Even though, we don't have great things in the past to compare it to. Sliders.
Yes, exactly.
We can forget about that, though. That was 30 years ago.
Right.
I mean, things change. Maybe they would do a great job. And I'd be really happy if they were like, cool, instead of canceling, we're going to send it to Sci-Fi for the next network. I'd be excited for the next season. I'd be excited about that. But the Sci-Fi Channel is owned by NBC Universal. It's the same company.
Right.
So if they wanted to move it to Sci-Fi, I feel like they would have just done that. It's the same people. I mean, I'm sure there's like different levels of people, involved in each network, but it's the same parent organization. NBC Universal owns all of these places and things. And so I don't know, shopping within the overall umbrella of NBC Universal, is that a thing? Is that anything that fans could have any sort of influence on whatsoever? Or is that already been, considered? People are like, oh, make it a Peacock exclusive. That's not going to happen. Peacock is NBC. It's NBC's streaming platform. It would cost them the same amount of money, whether they're airing it on live TV or just putting it on Peacock.
Right.
And if they're not going to do both, why would they do just Peacock? Why would they limit their audience?
So
I just don't see it as being a viable option.
So what we're hearing here is that basically there's not a lot of cause for optimism in this specific case.
And again, maybe I'm wrong. If anybody knows anything, understands any of this better than I do, please come forward. And if the fan community wants to band together and continue to try, hashtag save Quantum Leap, I'm here for it. I will support it.
As will I, of course.
But I don't see a unified path of where that is currently. And we're only, we're less than 24 hours deep into this. So I know everyone's still kind of processing the situation. Who knows? We'll have to take the direction of the producers and the people in the show, right? Now, if Deborah Pratt comes to us and says, here's the plan, I'm here for it. Whatever the plan is, let's do it.
She's going to specifically ring you up.
I mean, she might.
Yeah,
I could text her right now and ask her. I don't know. I don't feel like there's a direct path that makes any sense. And we need, as a fandom, we would have to figure that out together. I've seen like random petitions come up here and there. That's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
200 people, putting their name on an internet webpage somewhere saying they like something isn't going to do anything.
Right.
Because the big question is, what are we trying to do? What is the goal?
Right.
And I honestly feel like, 2 months ago when this season ended, some of us tried doing that. And we started the hashtag Save Quantum Leap, and most of the fandom was like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
And during the last 2 months, when NBC hadn't made a decision yet, was the time to really try and influence NBC and send those letters. And I feel like there wasn't a lot of support for that at the time. And now, in the last 24 hours, my Quantum Leap tweets have gone crazy. I've gotten tons and tons of retweets and likes and all sorts of people. And I've seen so many posts of people saying, hey, what can we do? And I'm afraid it might be too late. Now, maybe it's not. Maybe we can still, recover from this. It is about time travel. And, just to take a book from Timeless is, the catchphrase for that was, do you want to, get on the right side of history? And the whole term clock blocker was about stopping the clock and rewinding things and, making things happen in a different way. And that's what Quantum Leap is too. It's about, changing the wrongs in history. So maybe yesterday is just something we need to change, right? So maybe we can. But I don't know.
Get Sam Beckett to leap into an NBC executive.
Right.
I mean, he could renew his own series.
So not to get off into that tangent again, we all know how Scott Bakula feels about the show.
Yes.
He said he supports the show, but he doesn't want to be part of it. And we've all said, you got to respect that. But Scott Bakula is the one person who could probably fix this right now.
Yeah.
If Scott Bakula got on the phone with NBC and said, hey, I want to do Quantum Leap, I think they would do Quantum Leap.
Probably, but I'm having a hard time seeing him do that.
No, I don't think he would do that. But he's probably the one single person who could make this happen right now.
Yeah.
Because if he got on board, I think they'd be like, oh, wait, that's what fans want. Let's do it. Because that would be a successful season of television if we had Scott Bakula involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not on the card. That's not on the table. That's, just a pipe dream somewhere. So don't think that that's going to happen, because it's not going to happen.
Yes, unfortunately not. Well, it's a bummer. The series is over. Maybe there's a path forward somewhere. Maybe we'll find a way to get a third season. Not looking good at the moment. But, it's been a great ride.
It has been great. I know that the show hasn't had the full support of the original Quantum Leap fandom, but there's definitely a cross-section of us who love both series.
Yes.
And there are new fans who found the show and loved it. And, even the people who are just casual viewers who are like, yeah, I watched that. That's cool. Great. Not everybody has to love it. And to those people who didn't get behind this series, that's okay. Mm-hmm. You don't have to love everything that exists. You don't have to spread hatred. And it'd be great if people stopped doing that. But you know what? Live and let live. And we're here to
That's always my philosophy.
We're here to support the positive things that came out of this. So positive things is we got 31 new episodes of Quantum Leap.
Yep. And there's some great episodes.
There's some great episodes.
There's definitely some stuff that I'm glad exists.
Added to the canon. Mm-hmm. For better or worse. It's some things it's like, oh, I kind of hate this aspect or that aspect, or that we did this or that. But overall, it's an awesome thing that we have new Quantum Leap. Mm-hmm. And even though we're not going to get more new Quantum Leap next year, the fact that we took the 5 seasons that started 35 years ago and that we still are a fandom of, and we added 2 more seasons to it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And, all of the people involved in the 2022 series have, like I said, been added to the canon, and they're all part of the Quantum Leap family now. The actors involved, of course, as well as all of the characters, right? All of these great fictional characters have been added to our world of Quantum Leap, and all of the amazing people behind the scenes that made it happen. And I think every one of them should feel very proud of what they accomplished during those 31 episodes.
Absolutely.
And to all of the fans, who are still around or who have just discovered this whole universe recently, that's amazing. The new people have discovered Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mentioned before that, like, AlsPlace.com, like, had gotten a major update recently because the Quantum Leap series came back. And, it has a lot more activity going on that page than had in a long time.
Yeah, speaking of Als Place, yes. I know that Brian is currently working on revamping all of the original series pages and updating them with new episode descriptions and things like that. So all of the episode guides are getting a complete revamp over the next couple weeks, which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty sweet.
And as far as the new series goes, he just added a whole new video library of all of the clips and things from the new series. So there's lots of great stuff at Als Place. Make sure you check that out. It's a must for Quantum Leap fans. What did I just say? Fandom Leap? That'd be a good name for a podcast.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think we would create it now, but...
But yeah, as far as our podcast goes, we're not going anywhere.
Yes, just this is where our podcast journey began together with this new series. And even though it's ending, our podcast is not. We will still continue to cover the original series and all the things that we do from Extended Family, Sullivans Crossing. Well, assuming Extended Family even comes back, because they're also on the chopping block.
They're on the bubble with NBC. We're waiting on news still on Extended Family, which is the sitcom we covered season 1 of that just ended. It may or may not get another season. We'll have to wait and find out. But that show features Abigail Spencer from Timeless, since we're talking about Timeless. But yeah, we also cover several Canadian productions, which is something that fell in our laps. And we've gotten pretty in with the Nova Scotian film community.
I know, right?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We've got From on MGM Plus, which we're getting really close, I hear, to getting a release date for season 3. They're almost done filming, and then they're going to make a release date once they, figure out how long it's going to take them to do post on this, because they're in a really odd place where they're, filming during what's usually their off season in Nova Scotia. And dealing with trying to film around the feet and feet of snow that they're getting. So that should be interesting to see how that plays into that show. So there's exciting news waiting there. We're still waiting to hear when U.S. is going to get Sullivans Crossing season 2. It airs starting next week in both Canada and Australia. We have to wait a little while to see when we're going to get it, but that's something we're looking forward to here on our channel. And no shortage of things on the backlog that we've been wanting to get to. So we are going to be talking about new and exciting things, old and exciting things too. And you know what? This might just give us a little more room to fit more stuff in our docket.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're not going to slow down. We're going to keep producing great content, and we're going to keep talking about Quantum Leap wherever there's things to talk about, right? And we just started season 4 of the original series, so we still have 2 seasons of that to cover, as well as going back and talking about some of the early episodes together that we didn't cover together, like, some of our favorites or more important episodes we'll hit on eventually. And I'm sure we'll find some way to keep talking about the 2022 series as well.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we do like what we did with From.
And do live
rewatches.
Commentary. Yeah, maybe. It's all, like I said, a little fresh right now. But yeah, there's the Quantum Leap fandom. We talked about this during, the anniversary last week. It's lasted for 35 years. So just because there's no new episodes coming doesn't mean the fandom's gonna disappear.
Nope.
We are still here. We still love Quantum Leap. We still love all things time travel and fun entertainment.
Yep. It's fun stuff.
And so we'll just keep talking about whatever we are loving at the moment.
Yeah, and hopefully the next time you hear from me, I sound a little better.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we didn't end up releasing what we were gonna this week, but when I get better and I'm able to actually talk and not do a hackathon, we'll be talking about Dawn, her dad, and the tractor.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is a little off topic for this.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening to this video, but since you mentioned it, we'll just tell you what that is. It's very exciting for us. So it all started with Reed Price. Reed Price, who was our very first interview on our channel.
Yeah, we've now interviewed twice.
We interviewed Reed twice and had pretty regular discussions with him. He's an awesome guy. He's an actor in Nova Scotia, and he is in the series From.
Yep.
And he's also in the series Sullivans Crossing, which we started watching because of Reed. And another project that he was involved in was this little movie called Dawn, Her Dad, and the Tractor, which we did not have access to, being that it's a Canadian production. We're in the U.S., and it wasn't available anywhere in the U.S. for streaming. And then we got introduced through Reed and through Faith Shavs.
Yep. We
got introduced to Shelley Thompson, who is another amazing, she's an actress in Nova Scotia. And she's also a writer, director, producer, and she made the film. She's the writer, director, and producer of Dawn, Her Dad, and the Tractor. And we got to interview her about her book, which came out in last October. But yeah, she's also appears in Sullivans Crossing. So it's like this amazing just community of creative people that we have been blessed to know and become friends with.
Yeah.
And we're finally able to watch this movie because it's now available on Tubi in both Canada and the US. And that was just the most exciting thing ever. Reed had actually posted that it was on Tubi, and I was like, let me just look, right? Is it available on US Tubi too?
Yeah.
And it was. And I was like, I messaged him back, or I replied to his post, in a message, and I was like, we got it here too. And he was like so excited. He was like, yay, now I don't have to give it to you illegally. He said, I was so close to just, making sure you got it somehow. Because, we've been wanting to watch this movie for like 2 years now, and now we got to watch it. So we'll be talking about that when we next convene.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we have anything else to say?
I don't think so, because we're talking about all sorts of randomness now.
Yeah.
If anybody's still here, thanks for hanging out. And sad news about Quantum Leap. I was pretty bummed yesterday. I wouldn't have been able to talk about this last night without,
bawling your eyes out,
saying some mean things.
Well, really? Well, that would have been an interesting podcast.
Well, it was just very disheartening seeing the environment online. And I moderate one of the Facebook groups, and I'm getting all these moderation alerts because people don't know how to play nice. And it's just sad. It's sad that we take something that's already sad and then we amplify it by people just being mean and rude, And so I'm not going to get into that, but...
Well, you just sort of did.
I just sort of did. But I was in a better place to just, comment on this today, I guess. But we're rambling, so we should end here.
All right. Stacie, can be reached at?
I can be reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, and Threads at TVN Coupon Talk.
Let's see if I can get through this. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are a number of ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join one of my Core Productions Facebook pages. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a coffee, which is a way to support content creators such as ourselves. You can join the Core Productions membership for 99 cents a month, which is a new way to support content creators such as ourselves. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video as well as subscribing to our channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Core Productions, signing off.